That's a good friend. Hi, Jackie. The Seth is joining. And thank you, Amy. I love you. Hello.
Did it work? Did it work?
It worked. You're here. Hi, Mr. Godin.
It says it's having trouble. Hold on a second. Stop sharing up. Hold on. Because so I can hardly see you, but you can hear me and you can see me. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. Is it not working? Wait, let me see.
It says we're having trouble loading this live video, but they're not actually having trouble. There you are.
And yeah, I see you.
All right. Well, we'll do our best.
Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. There's so many other
Okay, we're going to make it work. So hold on. Let me, maybe if I turn off the Wi-Fi here on my computer and I tell my daughter to get off her Wi-Fi. Well, Zia, are you off the Wi-Fi?
It's great.
Are you off the Wi-Fi? Get off the Wi-Fi. She was told before we started to get off the Wi-Fi.
No,
she's totally speaking it, thinking I would know.
It is not your daughter's fault. It's Mark Zuckerberg's fault. The interface is just so touchy. So touchy. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I have some trepidation about what we're about to try, but it's
what
so
could
much better
possibly
than
go
so
wrong?
many other things we could be doing that I'm eager and delighted to be talking to you.
I'm delighted to have you. Thank you so much for joining the show. I mean, I know everybody already knows who you are, but just in case they don't, I'm going to tell them that you are not only a hero of mine and an inspiration to me and so many other people, but the author of, I believe, 19 books. Is that correct?
Well, it's going to be 20 in a couple minutes right there, yeah.
I mean, that's insane. I wrote one book. I have 19 copies of them on my shelf that didn't sell. Literally, they're all right there. So I don't know how you wrote 19 books because giving birth to one book was like too much. So amazing. You're a prolific author. I have some of your stuff hiding here somewhere, but we won't look for it now. And write one of the most popular blogs on the web. I feel like you were one of the OG bloggers, in my estimation at least. Like I remember meeting you so many years ago and you were talking about blogging and we were all like, what is he talking about? But you were right. Apparently it's a thing and it's going to stick around. You also do an incredibly popular podcast and so many other things. Did I miss anything? I mean, I know I missed everything basically because you do everything, but
I don't do everything. I show up now and then for people who need me to show up, and I'm super lucky, super privileged, really lucky.
Well, you are somebody that I look to for that, and thank you for showing up for me because you always do, and I so appreciate it. I'm very, very lucky to have Seth Godin on speed dial and on Instagram whenever I want him, apparently. Well, at least for this. So today, episode 3 of Well, That Sounds Fun. We're so excited you're doing the show. You're going to teach me how to juggle. I have my balls ready.
And to be really clear, it only takes me 90 seconds to teach you, but it will take much more than 90 seconds for you to learn. They're not the same thing.
Oh, see, that I should have read the fine print on our exchange. That makes a lot more sense because when you were like, this is going to be 1.5 minutes of teaching, I was like, that's just not possible. You have never seen me make a Negroni, clearly, because it's going to take way more time than that. All right, so tell me, what are we going to do?
Shall we begin? And then anytime you want to shift gears and just chat, we'll do that. But
yes.
we both have the same Taylor Tries beanbag official balls. It's important that we don't use billiard balls or bouncy balls because the thing that we need to learn about juggling, and I talk about this in my new book, is that juggling is not about catching. And this is the metaphor that is so important for people to learn about everything in their life. That in an industrialized economy, in an economy where you get penalized for being wrong, what we keep track of, if we see a juggler on the street or on television, or if we try to juggle is, did they drop the ball? That's even an expression, did they drop the ball? And the problem with that is that once you start trying to catch the ball, you're going to lunge because you don't want to drop the ball. If you lunge to pick up this ball, you know what's going to happen? You're going to miss that ball. Juggling is not about catching. Juggling is about throwing. Because if you get good at throwing, the catching takes care of itself.
Oh, God, you're so good at this. Okay,
So practice, the only practice that's necessary is to learn to throw. So please take one ball,
One ball.
put the other two away. You're
They
going
are discarded.
to toss the ball so it goes across your eyes, and then you're not even going to try to catch it. You're just going to let it drop to the ground.
I tried to catch it.
Drop to the
Oh
ground.
my God, so hard.
Drop to the ground. Do not try to catch it. It has to hit the floor. And so for 5 minutes, you're throwing the ball and having it hit the floor. Now you can bend over and pick them up again.
But what if I'm accidentally catching it because I'm...
Do not. Put your other hand at your side. Do not even
try.
Okay. No prizes for accidental catches.
Okay.
So
I accidentally catch a lot of balls just in life. Okay.
If we spend 5 minutes doing this, it turns out it's not hard at all to throw one ball and have it land right where it's supposed to. One ball.
But so it doesn't matter where I'm throwing, I'm just throwing.
No, it matters a lot. It needs to go across your nose in a perfect arc, but don't.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay, just across my nose, like that, right there.
Right? Now, it's certainly, when you know you don't have to catch it, it gets way easier to throw a ball because you can focus all of your energy on throwing the ball.
Okay, I feel like I'm going to hit myself in the face, but okay.
Keep going. Okay, so now we're not going to spend a full 5 minutes doing that because our ratings will go down. We're going to take a second ball and put it in our other hand. And we're not going to catch any balls again. We're just going to go throw.
What? Throw, but don't catch.
Throw.
This is going to be a mess. Hold on, I feel like I need Zia here to pick up the balls, but then she's going to pull the cord.
Throw. Take your time. You don't have to worry about catching. Throw.
Okay. I'm not even on purpose catching. I'm just that good. That much of a natural.
So now, once we've got throw, drop in place, and we're not filled with shame, then we can go to throw, catch, back and forth with just one ball like this. We have to be able to get to the point.
Okay.
It's going to take 10 minutes before you're ready for this, but we're jumping up ahead. It's the jumping ahead is always a problem for overachievers like you, because you jump ahead and you don't learn the basics. But
you just called me out.
Right? So all the people who say, I have juggler's block, there's no such thing as juggler's block. All there is you haven't practiced throwing enough. You haven't done enough bad throws. And once you get your bad throws out of the way and you have good throws, I'm not working hard at all because the ball is catching itself because my throws are good.
So you're not even like looking out of the corner of your eye like I'm doing right now.
I'm looking out of the corner of my eye because my throws are good.
Okay. This is harder than you make it seem. I mean,
no, it's not. The only reason you're stressed is because you're trying to catch. Throwing the ball without catching it is not hard. Right?
That is true. That's true. So, throwing a ball without catching it is not hard. You're so tweetable, Seth Godin. Okay.
Because the thing is, you're a type A overachiever who continually exceeds expectations. You think catching is really important.
But I just need to drop it.
Well, if you need to drop it, because if you really think catching is important, you're willing to do the work of learning to throw. And once you learn to throw, the catching takes care of itself. So then the step after this, also super easy once you're good at throwing, is throw, catch, throw, catch.
Oh, my word.
Because the catching's taking care of itself. You will not be able to do this because you're going to try to catch.
I did.
Right?
And the ball's gone all the way down my couch.
Exactly.
I'll be right back. Throw, catch. This is going to be like all I'm doing all night long. But how do you do it without looking at yourself? Because I feel like this is helping, seeing it.
I'm not looking at me. I'm looking at you.
I know, but I'm looking at myself mostly because this dress was not the right choice.
Yeah, you're not wearing I switched into juggling clothes. You should have.
Yeah, I didn't know I needed juggling clothes. I'm gonna at least button up my jacket so I'm not like flashing.
We could get everybody on Instagram for this, you know. We could get kicked off Instagram for what you're
I
doing.
know. It's like it keeps falling down. I didn't have juggling clothes, but I have a jacket on, so now at least
Okay.
I'm decent. Okay. So I
Right.
was
So
always
once you start getting better at throwing and you're not stressed about catching, we only have one step left, right? The last step I can't do while looking at you because I need to have a sense of where the balls are, so my focus changes. But I'm
right.
not doing anything different than I was doing before. I'm just throwing.
You're throw. Okay. I mean, Seth, I feel like this might be my first failed episode. Okay, I just have to practice, is really what you're saying. You can't teach me to actually be successful at juggling
No,
in
I
one
did teach
episode.
you. You just haven't learned to be successful at juggling because you know what you need to know, the same way you knew how to write a book before you wrote a book. The hard part of writing one book or 20 books is one word at a time. And you don't have a book until after the last word is written. Well, in
This is
this
true.
case, you're going to need to do 10 minutes of this throw, 10 minutes of this throw, then 10 minutes of this throw, and 30 minutes from now, you're going to be able to juggle because juggling is just throwing.
Okay, so I just have to go home and practice and then come back and tell you how I fare.
I need to help you with a 3-letter word that's so important, which is
Tell
you
me.
don't know how to juggle yet. You've learned how to juggle, but you don't know yet. But that's just a matter of time and a matter of practicing going through the process of throwing. And so we're here to talk metaphor. The metaphor is pretty straightforward, right? Which is all the things that people are hoping to achieve that others have achieved. Maybe it's luck. It's definitely not talent. It's mostly the practice.
I love that. Wait, so is that what your new book is about? I assume. Okay, so talk to us about your new book. Us meaning the folks watching on Instagram, not us because me and Zia's not in the room. She's taking up all the bandwidth in the other room.
Well, I don't think it's a stretch to say that this year has not been very good for anybody. Economic dislocation, health problems, an overdue focus on racial justice that's still not working right, and thinking of James Blake today. And with all that swirling around, we want things to be better. And the question is, where will better come from? And the system has taught us that it's supposed to come from outside. But culture is built by each of us, our contribution. When we show up, when we say, I made this, when we produce something that might not work, with good intent, with generosity, we make things better. I call that shipping creative work. The creative work of doing something that might not work. You had no guarantee when you started this series that it was going to work. The number of viewers you had the first day you were on Instagram was 10, right? But you didn't give up after 10 because you knew that you could ship creative work, that you could, if you made enough things better, people would show up. And so we repeat it and we repeat it. And when we repeat it enough times, it's called a practice. The practice is about merely doing the work and not requiring attachment to the outcome. That we are generous in how we do it. We have an understanding of genre and we show up to make it better. And then when it doesn't work, we learn from that and we do it again.
Yeah. I mean, so wise. It's so true. I think it's really hard to not be attached to the results because we're such a results-oriented society and culture, and certainly individually, I know I am. It's like, oh, if it doesn't achieve the thing, then it was like, well, what's the point of doing it? I think I'm getting better about it, but it is a good metaphor for all the things of learning to juggle. It's like, do I need to be an expert juggler? No. It would add a lot to my Macy's clowning days.
So
I might get an upgrade.
there's this cliched question, which is, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Which is a really stupid question because, you know, it's faster than light travel, the ability, I mean, you come up with genie type things, wish for more wishes. A
Right.
better question is, what would you do if you knew you were going to fail? What's important enough to do even if you're going to fail? That's how you become detached from the outcome. Because you say, I'm going to chop this wood, I'm going to carry this water, even though it's not going to work. Because the practice of doing it is part of what makes it me.
Hmm. I love that. That's very like Zen of you, these philosophies. Would you agree?
I love the
Little?
wide strain of Eastern philosophy and steal from it regularly. I think that we get into trouble if we call any given thing by its full standard, because there are parts of Zen that many Zen practitioners wouldn't recognize, and vice versa, as you know better than anybody who's an expert on this. I think that, well, one of the stories that I really like that my teacher Pema Chodron tells is she's at a meditation retreat, and it's a silent retreat, and 3 mats away there's this guy, and the whole 2-hour sit he keeps making this really annoying clicking sound. He just won't stop making the clicking sound. She's furious. He's ruined the retreat for her, and she's thinking of all the ways that she can tell this guy off, even though it's a silent retreat. And the break comes, and she stands up and goes over to confront him, and she realizes it's the radiator that's making the noise.
I've heard this story. It's such a, yeah.
And for the rest of the weekend, she was fine with the noise because she accepted that the noise wasn't intentionally hurting her. It wasn't about her. And so part of this practice is to realize our rejection or whatever else we're dealing with, maybe it isn't about us, and that disconnecting from that outcome still lets us do the practice.
Yeah.
And there's so many important things that we need to do to bring us together and to make things better. And we got to stop persuading ourselves not to try.
Right. I 100% agree. I think the trying is the fun of it, and the not attaching to the result, which I'm trying to get better. Apparently I'm failing miserably when it comes to juggling because my instinct is to still lunge for it, especially because I can see myself. I'm like, the ball's right there. I could just let go like that. So it's even harder to not just lunge for it. But in general, because you have given me similar advice to this in the past, and I've been lucky to get it over the course of the years, and things like silent meditation and all those things that really teach you just to like be in that moment, not worry about the next moment. You're here now. This is where you are. Have been really powerful tools for that kind of thing, and trying to not attach to the result. I think that's a lifelong practice because it's still hard not to be like, well, what could this be? And this could be so much bigger. But I think this show, definitely a lot of the intention of doing this, which is like, well, we're just going to do it. It doesn't matter. Like literally 5 people can come. It doesn't matter because it's fun. And it's, I think we could all use a little levity right now.
We can honestly say you have learned to juggle, because it's true. I've been carving these on my laser cutter. These are called writer's blocks, and because
what does it say? No such.
Is it backwards?
Yeah. No such thing as writer's block. I can read backwards.
Block. Mistakes are fixable. Reassurance is futile. Creativity runs. So whenever I find myself being a hypocrite, I just take out my writer's blocks.
I love it. My executive producer, Jackie, is sending me clocks in the comments. I see it because that was supposed to be the signal to me that I'm always going over time, because apparently I can stretch anything out into 20 minutes because I just keep chatting. So she's letting me know that we have a few minutes left to wrap up. So, because we're trying to keep these tight. That was the other thing that we decided was like, nobody wants to watch an hour-long FaceTime chat, even though I think I'm fascinating.
You are fascinating.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree with you, Seth Godin.
Anyway, let's quit while we're ahead. Keep making your ruckus. It was good.
You're the best. Seth, tell us where we can find you.
Just type Seth into your favorite search engine, DuckDuckGo or one of those others that play fair, and you will find me. I blog every day.
And when is your new book coming out?
November 2nd.
November 2nd. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for teaching me to juggle. I know what I'm doing all afternoon.
See you.
Thank you. I love you. You're the best. Thank you. Bye everyone.